Hiya guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I am Sean Hills and welcome to A Soul's Experience, a channel dedicated to helping the human race remember who we really are. Now I've named the title of this video, Don't Forget to Be Human. And I've named it that for one very simple reason. You see, like so many of us, I myself, after the spiritual awakening, just wondered, what is the point in all of this? When you realise you're an eternal soul, the Alpha, the Omega, a fractal of the divine, all of a sudden your humanly life goals don't seem so important. What is the point in that career you've been chasing, the savings, the house, the mortgage, when not only are you going to lose it all anyway one day, but you're going to realise that you're greater than, always have been greater than, and always will be greater than anything that you can achieve here on earth. Well, this is where it gets interesting. The more I've looked into spirituality over the past 5 years, been involved in this life, once you're involved in spirituality, if you've had an awakening, there is no turning back. It's a progression, it's an evolution of the soul. There is no going backwards. It's kind of impossible. You can try, you can kick and scream, and you can try and go back and forth, but ultimately there is only evolution. And so the more I've looked into this, the more I found that human, the word human or being a human, people seem to think it's a dirty word. You know, we got to try and lose our humanness. Well, we're absolutely missing the point if we believe that's what we're here to do, is to lose our humanness, because that isn't the case at all. If you look at all of the historic texts, all the clues and the riddles that have been left in our human history, they always point to the human being made in the image of the divine. This very, very special species that can carry the consciousness of love inside of it. A way to try and understand this in terms that make sense to us, let's think of vehicles. We have the bicycle with 2 wheels. It can get us a lot further than if we're running or walking. It's actually really great, the bicycle. I love bikes, they're cool. Then we have cars and motorbikes. These can get us a lot further with a lot less energy than if we're on a bicycle, okay? Then we have boats, planes especially, we can start to circumnavigate the globe now with ships and being able to fly. Okay, so these are all modes of transport. From the bicycle to the aeroplane, we're really progressing now, okay? But from the plane to the rocket ship, the most advanced rocket ship we have, we can now start to not only circumnavigate the earth, but to leave and go to explore space. Well, the human being and the consciousness inside of the human being is far greater than any single thing I've just mentioned, because we are the advanced spiritual technology that carries this consciousness so far from source. Yes, you can reincarnate in a vehicle on a planet like a bicycle right close to source. There are really, really easy places, or a lot easier places, to reincarnate in this universe than Earth. But the human body is the vessel, it's the vehicle that has manifested into the physical so far down into the lower vibrations. Now, there's not a hierarchy, there's no good or bad, because actually, the importance of this earth, the importance of the human body is so great, it's so vast that it's intertwined with universal history for eternity. And if you're watching this video as a human being, which I assume you are, unless you are another species walking around with us wearing a human suit, in which case, welcome. So if you are here, then thank you, because the strength, the love, the strength we get from the love that we have for the divine, for our brothers and sisters universally, that strength, that love, it takes some courage. It turns to courage. And let me tell you, from my near-death experience and feeling the energy, what Earth actually feels like from the other side, it does not feel like a place we actually really want to go once we've been here. You know, why we choose to keep coming back, well, I can't tell you that. It must be because of, all I can think is the love, the way that we're cradled on the other side, the way we know that everything's safe on the other side, that everything's perfect, that we always return there. I returned there when I died, when I was 6 from an asthma attack. And yes, I was sent back, and I could feel the energy from down here. And the only reason I came back is because the angel, the woman, whoever I was communicating with telepathically, they reassured me so much that I was going to be okay. And they left that with me. And the ball was in my court. The ball was in my court. And I could feel the energy from Earth, and it felt sticky. It felt dense. It had this magnetic pull, like it was wanted to pull me down into this. I could feel it now as I talk about it. It was like sticking to me. It was like sticking to me. Yeah. And the angel was here, and I was saying, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. And I was speaking from a 6-year-old's point of view, so I was saying it's yucky down there. It's yucky down there. It's grimy. It's grotty. I was using words like grimy, grotty, dirty, yucky, sticky. I was using words like that. And so the courage for us to be over there, and the reason I came back, just quickly finish that part of the story. Sorry, my ADHD gets me telling a million different stories at once. The reason I came back is because I looked at this angel and I thought to myself, I know you from somewhere. And these words came into my own thoughts. I could trust you with 1 million babies, and you'd love every single one as if they were your own. And as soon as I felt that, and I knew that she had just told me I'd be okay, meant I could trust her. As soon as I trusted her, I was woke up in hospital on a nebulizer about 8 o'clock in the year. It was getting dark, you know. It was getting dark. But anyway, the courage, okay? So this is something I really can talk about personally from a personal experience. The courage it takes to come to a place like this. And the vessel, the vehicle you need to come to a place like this. This is the human body. The human isn't a dirty word. The ego isn't a dirty word. A true spiritual being can accept that they are a true spiritual being having a human experience. This is why it's so important to not forget that we're here to be human right now. But what does that really mean for us in 2025? What it truly means is that if you are alive right now, you have been blessed. And if you have at least another 15 to 20 years of life left, or even the next 5 years of life left, then you are blessed. Because we have witnessed the end of an old era. And what I mean by that is for the last 30 years, we was living out the end times of the Pisces. There was an end times, and it is now. And it doesn't mean it's apocalyptic. It means there is a new age coming, a golden age, and we are stepping into it as we speak. So we got to witness, especially if you was a child, I was born in 87, so I grew up in the 90s, and it was just at the end of kind of really harsh punishment from parents. Like, some of us still got a whooping, you know what I mean, from a young age. A lot of that's stamped out now, thankfully. I don't believe in violence to be the answer to much. It's just who I am. But yeah, we got to witness the end of that, you know, getting a whooping. Maybe a teacher could grab you up back in the 90s. It happened to me a few times. You kind of stiff upper lip, you know, you got bullied or kicking at school. You were told to go and hit them back. It was this eye for an eye era. And for the last 30 years, you know, I grew up when in London stabbings blew up. You know, when I was about 13, all of a sudden knife crime just, along with the grime music, the crime, the gangs just blew up. And so I left London when I was 17, 18 years old, moved to Devon, beautiful part of the UK. The southwest, Cornwall and Devon is like Shout out to Cornwall and Devon, absolutely beautiful. And we're not far from Wales as well, another beautiful part of the country up that way. We've got Bristol, Gloucestershire. I mean, you're going up all along them ways. I mean, even down Southampton, Portsmouth, they're beautiful. We've got some beautiful places down there. Just pretty much London went downhill. I'm sorry, guys, but it did, and I'm allowed to say that because I'm born and bred Londoner. It went downhill. Got very, very violent. But we lived through them times. Yeah, and we were very lucky. I mean, I was extremely blessed. I lived through the care systems, prison, rehabs, homelessness. I've been truly, truly, truly blessed. Truly blessed. Because I got to see that side of the tracks. The addiction, the violence, the being locked up for years. Not a few days, years in a cell. Years overall spent on the streets. Not as long as in a cell, I must admit, only about a year on the streets altogether, which is just baby time compared to some people, but it was enough for me to be hungry and wet and cold for a long enough time to experience it. So I was really, truly blessed with these great experiences of this chaotic life. And the reason I'm so blessed is because it isn't like that anymore. And I get to see the other side of life, and so do we all, okay? But when I found out I was a spiritual being, I thought, well, it was so difficult to hear spiritual people telling me I chose that. I chose for my mum to die when I was 14. I chose to go in care. I chose for my family to be riddled with addiction. I chose to be, attacked and beaten up and stabbed and stitches put in my head and life's attempts made on my life when I was only 18, 19 years old. I chose all that. I chose the sleeping in the rain, no eating for days on end. How dare you tell me? How dare you tell me I chose all that pain? How dare you? Because I lived in the darkness. And when you live in the darkness, it's so easy to blame the world. The reason I drink every single day is because of you. Because my mum died, because she was an alcoholic. It's in my genes. It's just the way I am. It's my dad's fault for telling me about parties when I was a kid. It's his fault. It's their fault. It's my, it's so easy to sit there and drown my sorrows and blame the world. And I've done that from the age of 14 till I quit drinking a year and a half ago, and I'm 38. So do the math, 40, like we're talking 25 years, we're talking 24-year addiction with the alcohol, and I'm a year and a half sober. Thank the Lord. Man, I get shaky when I talk about it because it really does remind me. You can feel the energy of that time because the energy is always there, okay? And I lived in the darkness, but then I found out I was a spiritual being. And I had to accept that I chose that life. I did choose it. I chose all them things because why did I choose that? Because from that pain, from that angst, from my mum passing away at such a young age, I had to ask the big questions. I had to search. And I searched, even through all my addiction, I was calling out for help from the skies. Is death really the end? Are we all dust and bones? Doesn't matter if we live a good life or a bad life. If we all end up in a box, what's the bloody point? I had to ask them questions, and through all of that, I finally found out the answers. That yes, we do live forever. No, death is not the end. And I had to accept the fact I wasn't a victim. And I chose them things. And that sent me into quite a long spiral of depression, which I called spiritual depression, or a lot of it's called the 3 days of darkness, which, let me tell you, for me lasted a lot longer. And I'm only just coming out of it. I'm like 95% dealt with it, and it's been going on for 4 years. Not to scare anyone out there, but I've had 4 years of hell with this spirituality. And the reason I've suffered so much is because I forgot to be human. I forgot to be human. I stopped playing my guitar. I stopped writing music. I stopped skateboarding as much. All the things that used to bring me joy, working, anything. Like working went right out the window. What am I going to work for? What's the point? I started believing that destiny was already set in the stars. I didn't have to do anything, and it was all just going to come to me what was going to come to me. And if nothing came to me, then that is what I must have chose for my soul, right? This is where being a human being is so blooming amazing. Because no, that is not the end of it. That is not the end of the story. Oh, I'm a spiritual being. I figured it out. I never die. God is real. Jesus is real. All the ascended masters, Buddha, Muhammad, Vishnu, Yogananda, Pradhananda, all of the, Babaji, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Mary Magdalene, Jesus' wife. I mean, all of it's true. All of it's true, right? But what does that mean for us as human beings in this life right now who have bills to pay, families to look after, mouths to feed? What it means is the human being has a choice now. We have a choice, okay? The human being has a choice. Do we allow ourselves to walk through this life with our eyes closed, pushing against the grain, maybe doing stuff that really we know is making us ill? Or do we know that deep down inside we are unbreakable, untouchable, always lovable and never hateable, never judged by the other side, never judged for our mistakes, because there are no mistakes, there are only lessons to be learned. Yes, we can do things better, but if we learn from a mistake, is that mistake now a mistake, or was that a lesson? It's a mistake at the time, don't get me wrong, shouldn't have done that. But if I sit and wallow in that now, the human has a choice. We have a choice. Okay, am I going to allow the rest of my life to be judged on them actions of the past, the mistakes when I lived in the darkness, when I didn't know, but now I do know better, and as the human being I can do better, okay? But I don't have to come from a place of fear. I can come from a place of love, and that takes faith. So many people feel trapped in this life. Maybe they're in a relationship they don't want to be in, a job they don't want to be in, a house they don't want to be in. They're paying a mortgage they don't want to pay. They're paying off a car they don't really want. They're living somebody else's life. You've become too human. That is the ultimate closed down human being. Yeah? Because the real human being is a spiritual being that is able to have a human experience with the knowing of the intelligence and the consciousness of a spirit. See, it's intertwined. The human and the spirit are actually one of the same. They are. We're not an animal and we're not a spiritual being. While we're here and we're on earth, we are both. And we can make decisions based on that. And let me give you some practical ways how we can do that. I spend most of my time in deep thought, thinking about how I can help somebody today. What message can I give? Is there a way I can show some creativity, a spark of the divine through music, through a song? Can I express love today? Can I live in that way? And I can live that way 99% of the time, and it's very, very heavy. It's very, very heavy. But practically, I've set a day for myself, which is the 19th of this month, which is the Easter holiday, and I'm going to have a barbecue. And all day I'm going to listen to music, I'm going to dance, I'm not going to think about spirituality. I might make a video saying hello to the community and wishing everyone happy Easter, but I'm not going to be deep. I'm going to actually be extremely, extremely human that day. And I'm choosing to relax in the sun, fingers crossed if it's sunny, listen to some old favourite albums, some old rock albums that I love, and just for 24 hours, just remember to be human. Because it is so important to enjoy this life. We're not here for a hard time, guys. The hard time is done. And I promise you that. Now, yes, if you watch my videos, or if you've been watching my videos, we all know something big is coming this year. Something massive is coming this year, and it's a world changer. But it changes the world for the positive. It really does. I use the analogy, if you've spent the last 30, 40 years building a little home and someone comes along with a bulldozer and smashes it down, You're going to be really scared. Where am I going to live? What am I going to do? The utter destruction of what's just happened is freaking me out. How can this be good? And then behind you, someone's just built you a mansion with a swimming pool and a gym and a tennis court and a cinema room, and it's got the big velvet crushed corner sofas and the flat screens and the indoor swings, and why not? You've even got a slide that goes from your bedroom all the way down to the kitchen, like on Wallace and Gromit, and a robot that makes your breakfast for you. Why not? You know, but this is the kind of analogy that we got to think about this year when the utter destruction comes. In 2026, we're going to a golden age. And the mansions are waiting for us in that sense. The spiritual, the evolution, the growth of the human being. It's great, it's grand, and it's grander than we can imagine. And we're in it right now. If you're still alive now, you've made it. You've made it through the worst of the worst. Now this year, it's going to get crazy. But we spoke about this before in videos. Your soul, there is no way you can be removed, destroyed, or taken away off this planet or out of your life if you hadn't have chose to do that before coming here. So we cannot live in fear with that. But over my biggest piece of advice to all of you right now is don't forget to be human. Please enjoy them holidays with your family, cuddle your friends, you know, have a dance, have a sing-song. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy yourselves. Laugh, cry, be happy, be sad, be emotional, be human. Please. Don't lock yourselves away in a room, meditating in the dark for 8 hours a day, starving yourself because you think that that's what the divine just wants from us. And yes, for some of us, that may be our calling. But even then, people surely need to get up and have a dance now and again. You know what I mean? You get up and have a dance. You know what I mean? On that note, it's just a quick video this morning. I just want to thank all of you for being down here with me and all of us on planet Earth at this great time of awakening. It is tough, but it is beautiful, and if there's one thing we like on Earth, it's a little bit of beauty. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. It's absolutely free, and it helps the channel grow. It helps the message get out there of love and unity, and over these next 30 to 40 years, this channel, I'll be on here. I ain't going nowhere, so you might as well jump on now. You might as well get on the train now. You can say you was one of the first subscribers to the Great Awakening, to the Soul's Experience, and we can do this together, because I can't do this on my own, guys. I can't. I need you guys there. I need you guys there spreading the love, spreading the message. And just remember, tell your friends today, remember to be human. You know, it isn't all doom and gloom. We don't always have to be so deep. We can love, we can laugh, we can cry, we can dance, we can do all of them things. We can play, and we can be merry and be happy in our love, in our souls, and in our unity as human beings, as spiritual beings who are using this beautiful spiritual vessel to create change in the universe. And the whole universe is watching right now. Your vibes are rippling out there. All them other species are watching the human being going, God damn, I can't believe they're doing it. I can't believe they're dragging themselves out from the dark. Look how far in the dark that species was. And look at where they're going. Look at what they're doing. How? How are these human beings doing it? This is how we're doing it. Through the truth, through the love, through the unity, through the community. This is the only part I can play here in the grand scheme. I can love my family, I can love my friends, but I need to tell you guys the truth. You need to know the truth. You need to know the truth. This is what I can do for the awakening. You know, this channel's never been about, man, if I wanted a popular channel, I'd go doom and glooming. If I wanted a popular channel, I'd go emergency, breaking news, blah blah, you know, terror sells, you know. This ain't about that. This ain't about terror. This ain't about trying to get clicks and all that. This ain't about that. Spirituality in 2025 is not as big as what it's going to be in the future, but we're in it for the long run. We're in it for the truth. There's nothing else I can tell you but the truth. That you are spiritual beings, that you do not die. You don't, you just pass on back home. And that's from first-hand account evidence. And I'm actually going to, I really want to go to the hospital, Barnet General Hospital in North London. I really want to go there and get the records of the day I died. just so I had the paperwork, just so I got the paperwork. I'd love it if they still had it. And yeah, I could make that journey in about 6-7 hours on trains or driving. I could be there in about 6-7 hours. I could just walk in there and say, listen, you know, like 32 years ago I died and my mum brought me in unconscious and you guys saved my life. Yeah, I'd love to, you know, imagine there was an old lady there that was like, oh my God, I remember. And oh man, I'd have to buy her a big bunch of flowers, be like, man, there's some nurses out there, saved my life, and they don't even know. Well, they know, but they do not know the impact it had on me and what happened in between me getting rushed to the hospital, the near-death experience. So, man, that'd be an insane video to make. I'm going to have to make that one day. Anyway, I'm waffling. But until next time, guys, yeah, I just want to thank you all for being here. And remember that each one of you are unique fingerprints on the finger, on the hand of the divine themselves. And without you, this machine, the universe that this machine is, this great universe, without you, you're an important cog. This machine would not work. None of this would work. It would be imperfect if your perfect soul was removed. So, have no fear, you are eternal. You're not going anywhere whether you like it or not. And that's just it. Okay? There we go. Until next time, take care. Much love, and I will see you all soon. Take care for now.
There's not much to do when all I can is thinking about you. Not doing well, don't know where you are, 'cause you're not here. It's been way too long.